Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Lilydale Radio, featuring topics about spiritualism, mediumship, healing, spirituality, and the Lilydale Assembly, the world's largest center for the religion, philosophy, and science of spiritualism. This is Lilydale Radio.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. I'm thrilled to be with you here today. I have a very special guest, a very good friend of mine today. Her name is Becky Wisniewski. Hi, Beck.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so happy that she's here. It took us a while to put this together, but we finally did. And Becky's going to talk about Backflowers and soon. Okay, so but I wanted you to know who she was. She's awesome. So if you're on with us, I love it. Hi, Kristen. Hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Yeah, so definitely come on and say hi and let us know where you're from. We love to hear that. So again, this is Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. I'm Angie Hewitt-Apt. I'm a Lilydale registered medium. I'm a graduate of Fellowships of the Spirit School, Healing and Prophecy, and I'm owner of Santosha Holistic Center in Williamsville, New York, which is Buffalo area. So before we start, and again, this is Becky Wisniewski with me. I'm happy to have her. So I want to tell you just a little bit about what's happening in Lilydale, okay? So Lilydale, the catalog is out. Yay. You know, we're going to have a good year this year. There are lots and lots of classes, tons. I'm so excited about the classes. And the awesome thing is the classes are being offered this year on Zoom and in person. So if you can come in person, you can, but if you can't get there for some reason, you can take it on Zoom, which honestly, I've kind of found that I've sort of enjoyed because I teach classes or take them usually in my sweatpants, a nice shirt, and some slippers. Right? You do? Yeah. I know because you're in some of those classes with me, right?
Yes, for sure.
So, and the other thing, hi, Fatima. Good to see you. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is somebody called me up yesterday and said, what goes on in Lilydale in the summer? Like, do I just go there to get a reading and that's it, or what's happening? So Becky and I were talking about that before we went on, and there's so much to do, right, Beck?
Yes, there's a real lot. My favorite is the Healing Temple. I love that.
I love it too. I love
so
it. So
peaceful. Oh my gosh, the energy in there is amazing.
I know, just to walk in, like you feel relaxed, right?
Definitely.
And really, don't you find that you feel like that just going to Lilydale, just driving through the gates? How do you feel?
Yes, it's so peaceful, like with the water and just everything. I love it.
Yeah, I know. I always feel like that too. And so if you decide like to plan a day trip to Lilydale and say you get there, first of all, there's tons of guest houses so you can stay overnight, and that's kind of nice. And those guest houses, they make them like you feel like you're at home. They're really nice. So you can, and there's restaurants and there's shops, and they have at 8:30 in the morning, there's meditation in the Healing Temple that Becky was just talking about. And then they actually have healing services. So you can go to the Healing Temple and get a healing. And I know you've done that before, right, Becky?
Yeah, it's amazing. I also like the stump too. That's a nice service to be outside and get, watch the gallery readings.
Yes, I love the stump too. There is something about that stump. You stand there and that's an energy vortex, one of the strongest ones in the world. And you stand there, actually, Becky, last year. So it's mediums. I'll tell you what it is first. So it's mediums and visiting mediums. So registered Lilydale mediums and visitors that go up, and there's an audience and they pick people in the audience to give messages to. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Becky did last year for the first time. You gave messages.
I did. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. And you really can feel the energy. It's amazing.
Yeah. It makes it even that it's not like that scary to give a message. Like I always am. I'm not going to lie. When I'm sitting off to the side, I'm always, oh my gosh, please let me have a message or let it be something good. And then you get up there and you're in that energy and it's no trouble at all. Right?
I agree, definitely. I was super scared, but then once I was up there, I really did feel it.
Yeah.
The support.
Yeah, it's me too. So there's a 1 o'clock and a 5:30 stump service, and then they do another service like that at the Forest Temple at 4. And then there's also like all day there's something to do. You know, there's a museum, a library, but also at 2:30 they have a speaker and a clairvoyant, meaning somebody speaking about spiritualism, and then they also have somebody giving messages there. So chances are, like if you're going to go to those services, chances are you'll get a message. So which is a great thing too. And of course, you can get a reading too. I wanted to tell you too. There's Lilydale isn't just in the summer; it goes all year. And if I'm looking down, you guys, because I'm looking at my iPad because I can't remember everything. But energy for readings, intentions, opening and closing words is going on this weekend, and that's with Patricia Price and Amy Lynn Emery. And if Karen can, she'll pull that up because I can't actually quite see the date, but I'll look for it in a little while to tell you that too. So I want to say hi to everybody. So Fatima, hi Judy from South Dayton. Judy had been attending summer workshops for many years. That's awesome. And they're excellent workshops. It's great. And it's a great place to take a workshop too. Hi, Susan. And Jody says, bring bug spray, and you love the stump. Yes, bring bug spray. I agree. So, all right. Take lots of pictures. I like to take a walk around after dark and bring my camera. There's always something captured in some of the photos. Isn't that for sure? That's so true. I love taking pictures too, and I see all kinds of energy orbs all the time. And I think sometime we're going to have like a show where maybe we share our pictures. That'd be a lot of fun. We have to see if Karen, our tech person who's here too. I have to always thank Karen. See if she can figure out how we can share the pictures. So, happy birthday, Kristen! It's good to hear Kristen Hart's birthday today, Beck.
Oh, happy birthday! That's awesome.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, I want to guide us in meditation because you know that I always feel meditation is the most important thing you can do. I feel like for your life, really, because if you meditate, you're going to connect to that higher energy and that, to your higher self, to, your spirit guide. You're going to be connected and everything, and your life is going to go better. Do you find that, Becky, too?
Definitely. I'm a longtime meditator too. And I feel like when I don't, I feel such a difference. It's like such an important part of my day. It's a necessity for me.
So what do you notice? I'm actually getting us so I can see all the comments, so I'm not looking down, ignoring everybody. So tell me the difference. Like when you meditate, what do you notice?
I just feel like my day flows better. I feel more at peace. I feel more grounded. And then when I don't, I feel more affected, like by people around me and circumstances. I feel like I get thrown off my game a little bit easier.
Yeah, same for me too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember I've always told the story about when I worked at the car dealership in customer relations, and people would get upset when their expensive new car had something wrong with it. And when I meditated, when they were upset, I didn't take it in because I didn't take it personally. It was easier to know that it wasn't about me, and I could help them too. So, all right. So let's do our meditation, and then we're gonna talk about backflowers. So everybody, I invite you to take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and exhale. And bring your awareness to your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest, noticing the natural rhythm of your breathing as you inhale and exhale. And if you find that you're thinking too much and it's hard to stop your thoughts and they keep coming in, just thank them for being there, letting them just sort of move on by, and go back to focusing on the natural rhythm of your breathing. And if you find your thoughts wandering, you can also come back and focus on your heart chakra. And bringing your attention now to the root of your being, or your root chakra at the base of your spine. Noticing beautiful energy all around your root chakra that helps you feel grounded and steady and balanced. Allowing the light from your root chakra to grow and bring grounding to your entire being. And moving up a few inches now to just below the navel, which is your creative center. Noticing beautiful orange light all around that chakra. Feeling that chakra balance as you connect to your creative side. We all have a creative side if we just allow ourselves to connect to it. Inhaling into this chakra, feeling and seeing more and more of this beautiful orange light and energy surrounding your body. And moving up a chakra right above your belly button is the chakra of self-motivation and feelings. Imagine yellow light all around that chakra as you connect to self-motivation and destiny and feeling. And now taking a moment and bringing your attention to your heart or your heart chakra, the area in the center of your chest. And seeing or feeling green energy all around your heart chakra as you open up to unconditional love, to both receiving and giving unconditional love. And on your next inhale, allow this green light to be the size of your heart and beyond, filling your heart and opening your heart center. And on your next exhale, breathing out this beautiful green light into the space all around you. And you see this light on each exhale grow until it's surrounding your entire body as you allow yourself to love you. And then beginning to imagine that you're sending this beautiful green energy out to all of your loved ones, surrounding them with this unconditional love that you have for them always. And just see your loved ones one by one. Feeling the love, sending compassion, empathy, and connection. And beginning now to send this beautiful heart energy filled with unconditional love and acceptance out into the world. And you can imagine that this light is going wherever it's needed most. Or maybe you have a specific area you'd like to send it to. And just see the energy coming from your heart, getting bigger and stronger as you surround the earth or the world with this beautiful, beautiful energy. Knowing that sending love and sending healing energy from your heart is how you can make a difference. And you feel as you're doing this, your self-love increases and your love for others begins to increase. And your appreciation for all that is good infuses you with more loving energy. And through this green light, you see the world as a beautiful place, and you see the beauty in the world and in yourself. The green light still surrounding you. All the areas in and around your heart are full with this beautiful, beautiful light and healing energy. Every breath you take is filled with love. And I invite you now to take a deep breath in and begin returning to our virtual room. Hi, Beck.
Hi, that was nice.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so again, everybody, I'm Angie Hewitt-Apt, and next to me is a good friend of mine, and she's a Backflower practitioner, right? Would that be the right thing to say?
Yeah.
Hey, Becky. Yeah, Becky Wisniewski, and I'm just gonna read you her bio, okay? So you kind of know who she is, who Becky is, okay? So Becky Wisniewski, BFRP, she's a Bach Foundation certified practitioner. She helps people find emotional balance through the use of Bach flower essence. Are you feeling stuck in your life? Would you like to find a solution to your problems? Do your negative emotions cause you to veer off course in your life? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then Backflower Essences can help you. And I can tell you guys, I've answered yes many times, and Becky's helped me. Becky's training and experience allows her to get to the heart of your problems and create real and lasting solutions through dialogue and inquiry, which leads her to the perfect blend of flower essence just for you. Your customized remedy will be unique to you and your situation. She will zero in on your most bothersome issues and address those things first for the most optimal and accelerated healing experience possible. Once you experience the miraculous effects of the flower essences, you will become a believer and have access to a new way of living that you never thought possible. And Becky, I thank you for coming on and talking about the flowers, because I feel sessions with you have changed my life. And I feel like right now with the way things have been for all of us in this last year, I feel like Bach flowers are so important to help us all kind of get balanced again emotionally. Would you agree?
Definitely. Yeah, I've definitely been using them a lot myself this year too. I think there's been so much fear on the planet and so much, unknown and anxiety, and all those things can be addressed with Bach flowers.
Yeah, for sure. So what are they? What are Bach flowers? Like, how did you get interested? I know I'm asking you two things at once, but yeah, tell us.
Okay, so I'll start by telling you what they are. And basically, what they are, they're essences like energy from flowers. So, and what you take them internally as drops on your tongue, and they help to elevate and bring your mood up so that you feel better. So, how I started with them was I was seeing a holistic nutritionist for a while, and she would put me on them from like whenever I would go see her, she'd put me on a remedy, and I always felt better after I took them. And my last two appointments with her, which was probably about 10 years ago now, were like the most pivotal. So the second last appointment, I was actually coming off of an antidepressant that I had been on for about 10 years. I went on it right after I had my son, and I wanted to get off of it. And I wish I would have known about the flowers, that they would have helped me all along the process. But I
Yeah.
was like, actually, at the very end of it, I was ready to go off of them completely with the help of my doctor. My doctor was like recommending, like, she was giving me like the next lowest dose. And every time I would take the next lowest dose and I go down to that, I would feel a lot of emotional turbulence. And I believe it was like the emotions that were being repressed. I feel like the medication was repressing a lot of my negative emotions. And then they came up once I was taking less of the medication. And so I would always go through like a turbulent time. And then when it came to like that last step of just actually going off the medication, I happened to have an appointment with her, and she said, "Oh, well, let me give you a remedy." And she gave me a remedy, and it just was such a smooth transition. I didn't have any of that emotional upheaval that I had had prior to that. So that was like, I had already been experiencing it, but I really thought, wow, there's really something to these flowers.
Yeah.
And then the next time I went to see her, which was like the last appointment I had with her, and she'd always ask me, like, it was probably like a year later, she'd always ask me at the end of my session, like, how are you feeling? And I told her, I said, I feel like I would like to do something more meaningful to help people. I said, I really just, I feel like I want to help people in a bigger way. And so she gave me Wild Oat to help me find my passion, and Larch for confidence. And now I had already started like looking into like the flowers a little bit. Like I would look online, and she would always give me like a printout of like whatever flowers were in my remedy. And I would always enjoy reading about them. And then I would go online and I would read more, and I think, oh, this would help my friend or this person or that person that I know. I had already kind of started connecting that up. And when she gave me this remedy, within like 2 days of taking the remedy, I could not get enough of the Backflower information. Like I started, getting books and reading more about it. And that's when I started looking into the training for it as well. So
Yeah.
that it's funny that the flowers brought me to the work.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they do then, so they support you, or they like heighten your emotions, or it almost sounds intuitive in a way, because you sort of get like a knowing. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think what it does is it actually kind of connects you to your spirit, really. Because I think, Dr. Bach would talk about, and I can talk about him too
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but he would always say that, like other people, and like we are very influenced by our environment and other people. A lot of times we have, um, you know, we might have a purpose or a mission, and then we feel like other people kind of stand in the way of that.
Yeah.
And so, or just in, negative moods, negative beliefs, those kind of things, all those things can stop us from like living our purpose and feeling connected to spirit. So definitely like taking the remedies helps you to connect more with your spiritual side. And the flowers actually have like a high vibration to them. So when you take them, your negative emotion sort of gets melted away, and you take on the properties of the flower, so you feel better, and then you actually have access to maybe thoughts and ideas that you didn't have access to before, when you were in those lower negative states of mind or emotion.
That's pretty amazing. I remember, because I've gotten several remedies, and I remember things from you, and I remember like boundaries. That I had a hard time with boundaries, and so, and we'll talk about that. You can tell everybody like how a session would go, but I remember like what flower did you give me for boundaries?
That's Sentry. Yeah, that's Sentry. That's a really good one. That's a popular one, for people who have a hard time saying no.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so if you have a hard time saying no, and you overcommit yourself, that's the best for you, because then you can say no when you mean to say no, and when you say yes, it's a more authentic yes.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I remember like I thought, okay, I think that's the first time I ever got a Backflower Remedy from you. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. And you gave me a few other ones in there too. And it was almost like it was subtle, like that I felt
Right.
better. And all of a sudden it was like I could say no and I didn't feel guilty like I normally would, and it kind of felt like I was setting up natural boundaries. And I didn't even, it's almost like it's subtle, right? Would you say?
Definitely. So it's not like it can be like a really like when you first start taking it, like for me, like when I started taking that remedy that kind of got me involved in all of this, it can be like, come on, really like, wow, this is really, I feel great. I'm ready to do this. But a lot of times it can work very subtly too. It can work very almost to the point where you don't even realize something is happening. And the people around you might say something to you. They might notice that, you're acting a little different, or you might find that they're actually being a little different towards you because they're kind of reacting off your better energy.
Yeah. And I remember like coming back then for a follow-up session with you and you kind of going over the questions with me again and me saying and you saying, wow, like you're answering these completely different. You how do you feel? And I felt so much better like all the way around. I want to invite you guys. I forgot to say this, Becky, as if anybody has questions about Backflower Remedies for Becky, definitely go ahead and ask. And I think somebody actually has one. Let me see.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I should have Karen. Karen's on there somewhere too. Let's see. To find your calm, breathe, and I can't find it, Becky. All right, I'll find it. But if you guys have questions, I'll find them in a second. And definitely, we want you to ask questions. But go ahead. So, all right. So talk about Dr. Bach.
Okay, so he was a prominent physician back in the 1930s, and he was making a connection between his patients' illnesses and their negative states of mind and their negative emotions. He was realizing that there was a connection. And so he saw that, traditional medicine wasn't really helping them. It wasn't getting to the root of the problem. So he went out into nature and he found that certain flowers in nature held healing properties. And would actually balance negative emotions out. So he would suffer the negative emotion and he would actually ingest the dew off of a flower to find the relief that he was looking for. So he did this until he found all 38 flowers. So there's 38 flowers in the system. And what he would do then, this is still the way they make them to this day, is the flower is actually cut when it's in its prime and it's put in a bowl of spring water and it sits out in the sun for 3 hours. And then like some of the woodier plants, they actually put over fire. But in each circumstance, the heat is what transfers the energy of the flower into the water. And then they take all the pieces of flour out, the physical flour, and the energized water is left. And they add brandy to that. And that's called the mother tincture. And then they add more brandy to that, and then we can buy it at the store. And I'm going to hold it up. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is what they look like when you buy them in the store. Okay. And this is what I use. Like when I make a remedy for somebody, I will put it in a dropper bottle like this and fill it up with water. And then I add 2 drops of each flower. You can add up to like 6 or 7 remedies into one bottle. And then you just take it by mouth. You just take, it's a dropper that you just take under your tongue, and you take it 4 times a day until you feel better. So 1 dose is 4 drops, and you take 4 drops 4 times a day. You can take it more than that if you want, but you take it until you feel better or until the bottle's gone.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. So how do you figure out like what flowers like to give somebody? Like, how do you know what's a session like?
So somebody would come to me and either, in person, or I've been doing a lot of stuff over phone during the pandemic, or even like a Skype kind of situation. And I always tell people, like, think about what's bothering you the most. And, even before their session, I'll say, think about what it is that you really, and most people are coming because there is something that's bothering them. Mm-hmm. So we talk, and as I'm listening to them, I'm actually writing down like key points. I'm writing down flowers, and I'm also asking questions to try to get them. Some people are real versed in emotional speaking, like they talk with emotion, and those people are the easiest to do remedies for because they just are super in touch with their emotions. Other people that are more like, what is that, left brain, when you're more logical, they sometimes have a harder time speaking about their emotions. But I've been trained to ask specific questions, and I know how to kind of get to the heart of what the person's talking about. And so we just talk, and then I do most of the listening, and at the end of the session, I'll just write down, like we'll talk about the flowers that came up, and then we decide together which flowers go in the remedy. And if there's a lot of times there's more flowers than 6 or 7, so then I help that person like really like zero in on the things that are bothering them the most, and those are always the flowers that we put in the remedy, because we always want to work. It's like kind of peeling back the layers of an onion. Like you want to always like work on that outermost layer, and then the remedy will like peel off that layer.
Yeah. Because I remember that in coming and talking to you, and you'd ask me questions, and I'm probably a talker. Well, I'm a talker, right?
You're an easy one. Yeah. You're very emotional when you speak. I can understand where you're coming from. Yes, absolutely.
But even so, like there were times that I wasn't sure, and I know that sometimes I felt like going to see you was like going to counseling, because all of a sudden you would ask me, which this is a good counselor too, is you'd ask me certain questions that would get me talking about things, and I remember things kind of bubbling up inside me that I didn't even know were bothering me. Right?
Yeah, and that's part of my training too. Is like, and it's interesting because sometimes like you almost don't want to go too deep. Like you want to like really deal with those things that are on the surface more, but because then the remedy will peel it back. And I think it's almost like something that's been with you, if it's been with you a very short time, will clear up very quickly. Like it could clear up like first time you take a dose, like that quick, if it's only been with you a couple days. But things that have been with you for a long time take longer to clear up and usually take more than one remedy. So I really like working, like actually, Angie, you were my first case study for my practitioner level of training. Yeah. So for that experience, I had to do 3 case studies, and Angie was my first, and I had to see each person 3 times. So like the first time we talked, and everything had to be documented, and I gave you a remedy, and then I had to see you again when your remedy was done in 3 weeks. And that's when I think we talked and said, that's a really, I love follow-up remedies and follow-up sessions, because like I had a friend one time that I put her on a remedy, and a few weeks later, she's like, you know what, I need another remedy. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, and she goes, I don't really think that first remedy helped. I'm like, really? I go, let me look up and see what we put in there. And I started reading to her out of my notes, like what we had in there. She goes, oh, she goes, I guess it did help, because I'm not feeling that way anymore. But what had happened is new things had come up because we had peeled off that first layer. So like I said, like you were talking about before, sometimes it can be very subtle.
Yes, because I think that happened with me too, is I felt better. I definitely felt better. But then I think I might have said that to you too. Like, I'm not sure if it worked, or I have this, other things, as like you said, you peeled the onion. I had other emotions to deal with. And then I remember being so surprised with the follow-up, and I don't remember the specifics, but us kind of realizing like, wow, this worked a lot better. And this is just the second part of it, like to completely get rid of it or completely transform. Right,
exactly. Yeah, so I always say healing is a process. It's not an event. It's something that happens over time, because the flowers can be used in so many different ways. They can be used like Dr. Bach wanted them to be very simple, that anybody could understand them and just keep them in their medicine cabinet and be able to use them for passing moods even. But they can also be used for deep healing if you really want to work on something that you've been struggling with for a long time. So there's a lot of different ways, and I'll have clients that I see for like a year or 2 consistently, and then other times I'll just see somebody here and there. It can be used in so many different ways. It's really nice.
It's amazing. Becky, I just have to say that Chelsea's on. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
Chelsea said, hi, pretty ladies. And she said they're life saving. So yeah, they are, Chelsea. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And then Karen said, they have been life changing for me. Gentle way to get things moving. Incredible how they work. So easy to take. I always carry my rescue remedy with me just in case. But yeah, to get things moving. So that's what do you say about that?
Yeah, it gets you unstuck. I really think that's a good way of putting it. And it is gentle. It's like a gentle nudge in the direction that, of healing, of opening up to that spiritual side of yourself or seeing things in a new light. And it gives you access to a different way of thinking where you're not bogged down in the problem anymore. You're able to see it for what it is, and you can make different choices, or you can, it's just it's almost like opening up to a whole new world.
Yeah, I felt that too. Since Karen asked, I wanted to ask you, but have you talk about rescue remedy? Because I know for me, I always have rescue remedy with me. In fact,
I'm going to show you what that looks like too. So that's this.
Yep.
It probably looks backwards too, but you can buy this anywhere. You can get this online. I sell it. You can get it at Wegmans. You can get it at any kind of like a Feel Right or any kind of a natural food store. So that's the only combined remedy that Dr. Bach put together, and it's 5 of the flowers. It's actually the #1 natural stress reliever in the world too. So the 5 flowers that are in it are I have them written down so I wouldn't forget. Star of Bethlehem, which is to comfort shock. Rock Rose to ease extreme fright or fear. Cherry Plum for composure when you're feeling out of control. Impatience to give patience when you feel irritable. Oftentimes when you need rescue remedy, that is a feeling that you'd have. And Clematis kind of brings you back into your body. Clematis, when you need Clematis, it's usually because you're like your mind is sort of like out ahead of you, like you're like not in your body, so it kind of brings you in your body. And the combination of those 5 flowers is actually there it is. That's yeah. Thank you, Karen. Those 5 flowers, actually the combination just it's gives you like an immediate relief. So I tell people, like, keep one in your purse, put one in your medicine cabinet, and it can be taken either before something stressful or after something stressful has already happened. So it could be like, say you're nervous about flying or traveling or something, you could take it before that. I've actually gone on like road trips where I put it in a bottle of water and I just sip on it while we're driving. And if you can take any of the remedies that way, you can take them directly from the bottle, or you can take them in a glass of water or a bottle of water. And you can also take rescue remedy after something's happened. So like, say you got into a fight with a loved one or an accident or something like that. So a lot of people come to the remedies through rescue remedy. They get to know them through rescue remedy. So yeah, it's definitely a good one to have on hand.
Yeah, I think honestly that I knew about the flowers because I knew about rescue remedy, and I remember my father passed away, and it was unexpected, and I had to function like that day and the next day, and I think you told me to take rescue remedy, but I took some drops of that, and I find it now too, like if I'm anxious or I'm worried about something or something unexpected happens, I put a few drops of that under my tongue and I feel better right away.
Yeah, it's really it's a lifesaver, definitely.
Yeah. Becky, are Backflower Remedies good for pets too?
Yes, you can use them for pets, children. You can even use them for plants. So there's no side effects either. So that's one of the things I love about working with them, because I can't really hurt anybody with them. If you take the wrong remedy, you're just basically not going to have any kind of a result. I'd say the only like side effect that you could say that there is if you are the type of person that represses your emotion and pushes them down, it's going to bring them up. So that can be turbulent. That can sometimes feel, upsetting. But I think if you've got the right remedy, you can actually counteract that anxiety that comes up with it. So, but it's very gentle and, can be used in many different combinations. there's 38 flowers, but there's millions of combinations because you can mix and match any flowers. And some flowers actually seem almost opposing to one another, but can be taken together because we have so many different aspects to our personalities.
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of can't go wrong. And if
Right.
you have like where I've had emotions that kind of come up, I come back and then you'll give me another remedy and kind of tweak it and put something in to help. And it's not to suppress the emotion, it's to support it, right? And to help you get
Right.
through the emotion in an easier way.
So that's what's different about medication versus these, because medication will suppress it, where this is actually allowing you to feel it, but it's going to as the feeling comes up, it's going to comfort you in the sense that it's going to help you like elevate your emotion around it, or your feelings or your thoughts around it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's perfect. I know. I love it. I haven't gotten a remedy in a while. I think I probably need one. So Becky, what are like the most, I want to ask you two things. I think I'll ask you first. Okay. So with the pandemic, okay, and everything that's been going on, like in this past year, and I think like we were talking earlier, there's a lot of fear. But I also feel like in doing readings and people that I've talked to, there's a lot of fear in opening back up again, and how's it going to be and how has the world changed and are we ever going to have normal? So what would you like, how would Backflowers help with that, and what flowers and all that?
So I guess my first thought would be to go to like the fear remedies, because there's several for fear. And it would just depend on the severity of the fear and the anxiety that the person was feeling and why they're feeling anxious too. So like Mimulus is a great one for just giving you gentle courage to help you face your fears. But if it was like a real extreme fear, then you'd want to use Rock Rose, because that's for panic and real severe anxiety, which is what is also in Rescue Remedy. And then there's also Aspen, and Aspen is for sort of a vague kind of feeling. So if it was like, say somebody was like not really sure about moving forward after maybe being home for a long time, and not really sure what to expect, Aspen would probably help them. Or somebody, it might not even be fear for some people. Maybe some people might even feel like a little bit of like procrastination about getting back out there. And then that would be a whole nother remedy. That would be like hornbeam. So you always want to ask yourself what the reasoning is, like why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And then you can find the right remedy for it. Or even walnut, because walnut is like, that helps us with change. And there's a lot of change that's happened this past year. So people who have a hard time adjusting to change, walnut is nice for that, because it helps you to move through changes more easily.
So would you say, so people can do it themselves or they can come and see you?
Right. So you can, like, what I do for people, because being a practitioner, I have all the experience and I know all the flowers so well, and I have the whole system. So for me to make you a remedy it's easy because I have them all. Like if you had to make your own remedy, you'd have to go out and buy all the remedies. But and also I have the experience, so I know what remedies help. So sometimes it's just easier to have somebody to talk to and listen to what's going on. Sometimes it's easier for someone else to not really diagnose, but like figure out what flowers should be in a remedy. Sometimes I think we might be like overthinking like what we need, or we might not be sure. So that's where I would come in, and I'd be able to help somebody come up with a remedy that would be good for them.
Yeah.
Customized.
Well, because sometimes too, like for me, like you could say, how do you feel? And it's like, I don't know, I mean,
Right.
I know I might know that I'm depressed or I'm feeling anxious, but I don't know why. And I have thought like a session with you and the questions you ask and the things that you say, again, that's peeling the onion, because I would have probably I could figure out maybe some of the ones, like I know when I need Rescue Remedy, but I love my sessions with you.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's part of my training, is that we were taught, how to listen and what questions to ask, and and not to be judgmental either. Like I'm not like that anyway, but I feel like we were actually put into groups in our training, and we had to play like the different parts. We had to play like the victim, the persecutor, and like the observer, and so we were put into every position so that we could see it from all points of view. And I think, it really does help because, things happen to people, and, however you feel is how you feel. There's no right or wrong about it,
For sure.
But yeah, I can definitely get to the heart of what's going on because of my training.
Yeah. So what's it? Because I remember that was, I think, when I first knew you, that I think we talked about the back flowers. I forgot how many. It's probably about 5 years ago.
Probably about like 7 or 8 years ago now. Yeah.
So long.
Maybe even 10. I don't know. It's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other. Time goes by fast.
I know.
It really does.
It does.
See, we have to appreciate it, right?
Definitely.
But I remember you telling me about the training, because I knew about back flowers because Elaine Thomas of Fellowships always told me. And I remember my dog I had two dogs, and one had one put to sleep, and the other one just kept going in the back room and laying in the back room and didn't want to come out. And you could just see how upset the dog was, and I didn't know what to do. And I remember Elaine said, get gorse and put gorse in the dog's water bottle or in the dog's water dish, and I did that. Okay. And then little by little by little, it seemed like the dog, by the next day, the dog was coming out of the room. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful for pets too. And
Yeah.
there's actually a rescue remedy for pets that you can actually buy at the store too, that doesn't have any alcohol in it. Because the remedies are based in brandy. And so for kids and pets, they actually have special rescue remedies that are based in glycerin, so that, you don't have to give your child or your pet any alcohol. And the alcohol is such a small amount anyway. It's not going to hurt anybody, but yeah, so you can use them. I used it a lot when I had two cats actually that passed last year in the pandemic. And yeah, and I had to, I used the rescue pet a lot for them. I would put it in their water dish, and I really believe it helped them a lot.
Oh yeah, no, because I could tell that with the dog, because the dog was like that for a while, and as soon as I started using I don't, the gorse, it made a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you too, because I remember when you had the training, it's a pretty long training that you had to go to for that.
Yeah, so there's 3 levels to the training. Level 1 is sort of just to get to know the flowers and to understand them. And that was like an online kind of a thing where it was sort of a self-study for about 6 months. And then levels 2 and 3 were on location. So I went to Philadelphia for both of those. And I think level 2 was like 2.5 days, and level 3 was like 3.5 days. And level 3 was the practitioner level. So that's the level where you had to take a test, and you had to, not only knowledge of flowers, but you had to know how to handle a client, consultation. So they asked questions like that. And then we had to do the 3 case studies. So they gave you like a good 6 months to a year, I think, after that one to do the follow-up, the 3 sessions. And so I did it all over, I probably spread it out over 5 years. And in that time, I was working on friends and family. So I was getting experience using them. Yeah. And that's the best, because you can really see the changes with people that you're close to, and I would always love giving somebody a remedy and then seeing them the next time, and I could see a change come over them. They just looked more at peace and more relaxed, their face, everything would be different. They'd have more color in their face. I should do before and afters, because I think it can really make even a physical appearance look different.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I was going to ask you that. So what keeps you doing the sessions, and why do you love doing them? Is that why?
It is. And because I love to help people, and I love to help people shift. And with, when I'm doing a consultation with somebody, I feel like when they have a light bulb moment, when they see their problem in a new light, I love that. To me, that makes it worth everything. And the transformation, like I just talked about afterwards, and just seeing the shift in them, it makes it so worth it.
Yeah, because you help them, like you said, peel the onion, and do it with support, with the remedy, and with the things that you're asking. That makes a huge difference when they figure out what it is, and you see them happy.
Right, exactly. It's it brings people to their natural state of being, which is happy, and is joyful. And that's always so nice to see. And it takes away those blocks. It melts those. Dr. Bach would always say it's like melting, like the sun melting snow, like, snow melting in the sunshine. That's kind of how they work.
Yeah.
Very gentle.
You know what? I love this. You have this on your website. Gentle healing with flower essences, which I love that, gentle, and it's healing. That's really what it is. And then we can judge our health by our happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a Dr. Bach quote. And I have to say, I totally agree with that. And I'm a big Abraham Hicks supporter. I love their work, and they are all about, ways to find, to kind of bring you back to that natural state of being, which is joy. And they talk a lot about like how, if you think about it, like a cork on water, like that's our natural state of being, just kind of floating on top of the water, feeling good. And then sometimes we can get pushed down under the water, but that cork is always going to float back up again. And that's sort of the way the flowers work, that they have that ability of just sort of bringing us back to our natural state of being. So that's why sometimes they're not real, like, wow, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Sometimes, yes, but like a lot of times just very soft and subtle. And you just kind of feel like you should feel, you feel good,
Yeah, like little, like all of a sudden. But you know what, though? You're right. Sometimes it's little by little, but I've taken them too, where within a day or two, I feel happy again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Usually it's something that's wearing me down and I'm not feeling my natural state, like you said, is happiness and joy.
Right. And when you get the right remedy, that does feel like you can feel the shift a lot. So if you are in these like really negative states and all of a sudden you feel that shift, it is a lot more obvious. I think it depends on how bad you feel, right?
Yes, yeah,
Before
definitely.
you take it.
Well, and it depends on how much of the onion you have to peel. But you know what, though?
Right.
Even if you have to peel the onion, I think you feel better right away. And then you're kind of getting to the core of what it is, which I feel you have to get to anyway, really, right, for true healing.
Right, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So Becky, since you brought up Abraham Hicks, we'll talk about that too, because Becky has a discussion group. Right now we're on hiatus because of the spring, summer months, but to talk about your discussion group. I love that your discussion group.
Yeah, I love talking about spirituality too. So we base it on the work of Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. That seems to be what interests me the most. And we basically we talk about different subjects each time. I've been on my spiritual journey probably I'd say about 35 years now, probably since I was like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what interests me the most, is like self-help, spiritual principles that you can apply to your daily life. And that's a lot of what Abraham is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I love helping other people find that as well. And I love discussing it with people who are on that same page. So I could talk about spiritual stuff all day long. And I just think it's fascinating.
I know.
So, and I've been a part of different spiritual discussion groups through the years. And I really enjoy it. I love the back and forth. I love the dialogue. I love just hearing other people's points of view. And again, I think a lot of it is like that feeling of like a light bulb moment, either for myself or for somebody else, where you see something in a different light. And I don't know, I just think that's the way we grow and evolve.
Yeah, I think so too. And really, like with Abraham Hicks, it's about changing your thinking, right? Because if you change the way that you're thinking and what you're saying, like talk a little bit about law of attraction.
Well, I think a lot of like what Abraham Hicks talks about is they talk a lot about your emotions and being in touch with how you feel. And that does go hand in hand with the flowers,
Yeah.
And they talk about like really being aware of that, and the way you're thinking too. But I think your signal is always your emotion. So if you're feeling a negative emotion, maybe kind of go back a step and say, oh, what was I just thinking? And then kind of being aware of that and being able to change that. And they have a lot of different processes they use to do that. One of them being, it's called pivoting, where you say something or you feel something and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I don't want this. And then you ask yourself, what do I want? And then you kind of I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for.
Like well,
Reroute yourself, I guess, right? Like,
you're rewiring your thinking, would you say?
right. And you think, you think about what you want, and then you start heading in that direction, which is a pivot from where you just were. That's just like one of the many techniques that they teach. But that's the kind of stuff that I really like, because I think we live in a world where there's a lot of negativity, and it's sometimes very difficult not to be affected by it.
Yeah.
So I think using the different techniques that they teach and applying them to your life, it can really make a difference. And I can see it in the people around me too, that the changes that even just thinking that way or talking that way has made in their lives too. So it can rub off,
Definitely. Like one of my favorite quotes is, whether you think you can't or think you can, you're right. Right.
Yes.
And that goes along with that. And I think a lot of times we don't even realize, like, some of those thoughts and those things that we say are so programmed in that we don't realize. And I think sometimes if you're saying I can't, that's the energy that you're drawing to yourself, and you don't see that you can. Right?
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. Our thoughts are so powerful. And so, yeah, I think a big part of it is just becoming aware of what we're saying to ourselves. Like what is our self-talk, and just like trying to be gentler with ourselves and kinder to ourselves, and, kind of giving ourselves a break, and, knowing that we're always doing our best, and,
Yeah. Yeah, and isn't that so important? Because I think we're so hard on ourselves, right? And I always feel like we should love ourselves more and give ourselves a break, and know that we can change things around. And sometimes we are where we are, and we keep on going. And you and I talk about that stuff all the time.
Yes, and that's one of their quotes too. They say, "I am where I am, and I can get to anywhere I want to be from here." And they used to have an analogy years ago where they would talk about putting your canoe in the water and just letting the stream carry you, like going downstream. That life will carry you where you want to go. But a lot of times we're paddling upstream, because we're like fighting the current. And they say when we're doing that, we're missing out on everything. Like we can't see the scenery, we can't see all the signs and everything along the sides that are like pulling us towards the things that we want. So they always say life's going to carry you where it wants to carry you. Just like enjoy the ride, and trust that you're going to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, that's true, because I've been there, right, where I'm going against the current, and it's so hard, and sometimes, like, I think we think it should be hard, right?
Right.
Like sometimes I get worried when it's too easy,
Yeah.
something's going to go wrong, but it's not really. Like it's more, if you do it that way, you're right. You start to see the scenery along the way, which are other things that can help you, or other signs of things that you can be doing. Right.
Exactly. Right. And I think a lot of that is our programming. It's like we're taught that things have to be hard, and you have to work really hard to get what you want. And, I don't believe that you don't have to do anything, that you can just sit there and let things come to you. I think you do have to put some action into it. But I do think that we are really taught from an early age to work hard and do, it's got to be a struggle,
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to be that way.
Goes to the grindstone kind of thing, right? And
right.
That kind of feels like it should be a struggle, and it shouldn't be.
Right, exactly.
Becky, it sounds like we better make another date for you to come back. Law of attraction, wouldn't that be an awesome show?
I would love that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and I want to mention to everybody too, Becky does readings too, and I think Karen's put up her website there. Thank you, Karen. Karen's always kind of taking care of.
Thank you, Karen.
Behind the scenes, yeah. But Becky does, so you can see Becky for a Backflower session for readings, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And then we'll have somewhere along the line, I know we'll do our discussion group, or we'll do the discussion like right here, and have you come right here. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that we didn't say?
I have a Backflower page. If anybody wants to follow me on Facebook, I have a Backflower page. It's called Backflowers by Becky, or no, Backflower Remedies by Becky, actually. Yeah. If they want to follow me on there.
Yeah, and Becky posts that's where you post all kind of quotes and things too.
Right, and I post different flowers and what they do for you, and all kinds of stuff, quotes and things like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Grace. Hi, Grace. I didn't know you were there. Hi, Grace. Grace is interested in the law of attraction piece.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I definitely feel that we should absolutely come on and talk about that because you know a lot about that.
I would love that.
Yeah, I would love that
60
too. That'd be a lot of fun too. What did it say, Karen? 60 seconds, I think. Doesn't it go? It goes by.
It went really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I'm so happy that we made this work. It took us a little while going back and forth to find a date, but we did, right?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
It was
appreciate it.
fun.
Yeah, I did too. I had a really good time too. And we have to thank Karen for doing everything that she does for us and kind of keeping us rolling. And join me now next week, everybody, on my show, Spiritual Discoveries, with Angie and Friends. Next Friday is National or World Meditation Day, and Lily Dale is going to run meditations all day long on Blog Talk and Facebook Live. And so if you join me next Friday, I'm going to be talking all about meditation, and I'm going to have a couple of meditations on the show as well. So join me next Friday, the 21st at noon. Okay. And thank you so much to everybody for joining us. We appreciate that you took time out of your day to spend it with us. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yep.